we have now created a great commitment from Clemson to Coach Swinney and from Coach Swinney to Clemson. I think maybe you guys have heard before, I think he's a generational coach. I mean, there's no coach better for Clemson than Dabo Swinney. And just very excited to have that kind of put to bed and being able to move forward. His representatives were incredible. Had great help from Chip Hood in our general counsel's office and Graham Neff. His representatives, Russ Campbell and Patrick Strong, really helped make this whole thing work seamlessly over the last 7 weeks. Was really when the focus was placed on it. But happy for Dabo, Kath, and their family. More happy for the Clemson family because he will be here and be our football coach for a long while.
I could be wrong, but I think this makes him the second highest paid college coach, just ahead of Calipari at Kentucky. Did you guys look at that?
We didn't really cross sports. Really kind of focused on the market as it related to football.
And was it, in looking, Nick has 6, Dabo has 2, keeping him just under Nick, or was that?
You know, that metric probably, it's out there.
Sure.
Okay, but I think it looks to the value of him at our institution.
The 10-year deal, what went into the decision to do such a long-term deal?
Really just to kind of show the commitment on our side and his, and then you do the math and the numbers get to what they are. But it was really about showing commitment, solidarity on both sides.
And the Alabama buyout clause, I think, is in there.
Yeah.
Can you talk some about that?
That's because of all you guys. Everybody thinks that Dabo is going to move on to Alabama, and while we were looking at these things, it really wasn't that difficult as it related to that with his representatives. We were going to have a buyout for all other schools, and for that one, we just kind of put an additional little kicker. It's not the first time we've done that in one of our contracts. We've had other coaches where the buyout increased if they went to certain conferences or some schools. So it's not the first time, but this one obviously has a little bit more sunshine to it.
Do you remember when it first crystallized to you that we need to make a major statement? Was it, I guess, January 7th?
Probably halftime of the Notre Dame game. I mean, we had an incredible season up to that point, but certainly, as we were there getting ready for the Cotton Bowl, it was evident that it was going to be time, and it was time because the market changed considerably from the last time that we had done a negotiation with Dabo and his folks. So we knew that it was going to be this off season when that happened.
There were some statements made by Steve Smith yesterday that may have caused a few raised eyebrows about the football program. But does this show that there are no concerns at all?
Yes.
With Dabo and the football program?
Yes, I think we feel very strongly that those were unfortunate comments, and we are doing our due diligence, but there's no reason to believe and nothing that we've been able to find at this point in time that implicates the football program in any of that. It was a very unfortunate choice of words.
Is that why the basketball contracts were not discussed today for this season?
I had a conversation with Coach Brownell, and the board will have some other opportunities here shortly to pull together, and we need to just kind of do a few things that weren't able to be handled quickly because of a lot of people being spread out and focused on this particular meeting. So we wanted to make sure to get that done, and we'll talk about that in the days to come.
Where are you with your talks with Coach Smith? And I know you guys met yesterday. What did y'all talk about?
I did not meet with Coach Smith yesterday, so I don't have a whole lot to add to that, but it will happen in the coming days.
What was your initial response when you heard those comments and were made aware of them?
Disappointed. I think that they're college athletics is college athletics. I mean, there are a lot of schools around the country that are dealing with some of this right now, and my big thing is, if we're going to deal with it, we're going to do it in an upfront, transparent way, and we're going to make the best decision for Clemson. And that's what we're looking to do. But I really don't have any other comments, guys, on that because I haven't really dove into it yet.
Was yesterday the first time you guys knew about it?
Yes, yesterday afternoon. When it kind of hit the Twitter sphere is kind of when we learned about it.
So I had no warning of that at all.
Yeah.
Was it particularly disappointed given that you and Brownell have publicly times cited the clean way of doing business as why he's the right guy for this job.
Sure, and there's nothing in anything that's been put out there right now that implicates Coach Brownell. I want to be real clear about that. So I think that's really part of where we need to continue to do our due diligence and kind of move forward.
How confident are you in the football program and basketball program being run the right way?
Very confident, very confident. This obviously is a symptom. I'm not sure it's a disease.
Switching gears really quick, was there any thought to, with Brent, upping the number a little bit, or was it always just adding the year?
It was always adding the year.
Sure.
That was kind of where we had gotten to. And could have had it done in February, but Brent was recruiting, and it was just and because the salary number didn't change, there was not an urgency to be able to get that done. So we wanted to get it done now and make sure to have that taken care of.
And how important was it to show support for Amanda and the job that she's done?
Well, I mean, Amanda, what she was able to do, I mean, unprecedented success over last year. I mean, we had won, I think, 4 women's basketball games in the last 4 years, and she comes in and they win 9. And doing it, creating a culture and having a great staff and recruiting real well, which I think we'll be able to see into the future. But really happy for her, and wanted to make sure that she felt like, I mean, Amanda came in, after, not being a head coach for a year. And, I wanted to make sure to let her know that we appreciate the job that she has done and the work that she is doing to continue to move our women's basketball program forward.
You said that nothing you found implicates football. Does that mean that the review includes football?
No, not at this point in time. We're going to be reviewing what, hopefully we'll be able to get some data that will allow us to be able to do a review. But at this point in time, there is nothing that we have seen to this point that implicates football at all. I want to be real clear about that. There's nothing about those statements that we've been able to find that implicates football.
You said you spoke to Coach Brownell. What did you have to say about it?
Well, I spoke to him just really about the process. We had the assistant basketball coaches on the compensation agenda. I said, Brad, I don't think it's a good idea for us to do that. He quickly agreed, understanding that we would be having other opportunities shortly, after we were able to do some work. So it was not a long conversation at all.
How long do you think your review is going to last?
I have no idea. Wouldn't even venture a guess.
Have you gotten an update on the Oscarine? Have you been able to file an appeal on the?
Appeal is due, I believe, in the next few days. So we will. I think we talked about that the last time we were together. It's at the end of April, so we'll have that appeal in on behalf of the 2 student athletes.
And did you make progress? Were you able to make progress as far as finding where it came from? Do you have any update on how that went?
No update on that. That's really with their legal teams and the student athletes representatives and our legal team have been working on the appeal. So I think that really the bottom line of all this is how the NCAA and their appellate area rules on the data that those folks are going to be able to provide them. And at this point in time, I don't know what the timing is other than getting the appeal in near the end of April.
Do you feel good about the data you guys are going to submit as far as being able to get it overturned?
I haven't read the whole report yet, but up to this point, I think there's some interesting pieces there, as it relates to it. But I have not read the whole report.
You're not sure when the final word would come from the NCAA?
After we put the appeal in, then it's up to the NCAA to set the time period for the decision.
Do you think